What's up, nerds out there in the super cool nerd nation? It's time for an all new episode of SCNS Live. We live in Texas. Send help. I'm sorry. Did I say that?
No kidding.
It's not funny because it's actually pretty damn tragic. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us for another week of nerdetry as we broadcast from our homes where it's safe
yet again,
and not out there with the infected and clickers. I'm pretty sure there's clickers now.
And this damn heat is disrespectful. Disrespectful, I tell you.
I looked at the temperatures for this weekend. As a homeowner, I don't know when I'm going to cut my yard, but it won't be anytime soon. But yeah, screw that noise. It's hot and there's a virus running rampant. I'm staying my ass inside. Anyway, I am Jason the X. The people down over here, that is Ricardo.
Yo, what up, guys? Guess what? I got Kool-Aid Jammers.
Oh my God,
That's amazing.
The plastic on those bottles was like so fragile and thin, but if they had the flexi tops too.
I got my Kool-Aid Jam. I got my 6-pack. I sat outside, had me a couple of cold ones, doing it the old school kid way.
And the lady over here with the matching hair and headphone wear.
That's right. It's
it
important.
Just about matches your hair. It's Kat. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm back. You can't fully see my mohawk do. Plus, I didn't do it right. But yeah, I have the full hawk going on now.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's a challenge for curly hair, but whatever.
I know the feeling, So anyway, I've made improvements to our studio, by the way. Too bad we cannot use it. So.
You'll be surprised when we come back.
Well, I know one of the problems was Kat was always saying that the backlighting was an issue. I solved that.
I'm so happy. I think it's funny that we've had this conversation enough for you to be like, Kat was always saying, but it's true. I was always complaining about the backlighting.
Yeah, and I just did a little bit of, I have a lot of time on my hands because I'm not going outside except for drive-through dinosaur exhibits at Fair Park, which awesome. So
yeah.
But yeah, one day we'll see each other again. Maybe when they have a vaccine.
D&D. We need D&D. I'm so ready for D&D.
I miss D&D. I sit here and say things in my character's voice just because I miss playing D&D.
What is your character's voice, Jason?
His name is Alibroth Jarud. He's a Dragonborn cleric.
I like that he has very precise language that makes sense for how their jaws are formed.
Yes, that's how.
Yeah.
And he's also going to have funny battle cries that he learned from some humans, like from the windows to the walls.
That is dope. My bard just straight up sings different songs, like pop songs, with the words changed. Sometimes Veggie Tales. Lately, Veggie Tales.
One day, everyone will be back and in our studio playing D&D. Anyway, let's go ahead with the lead-in story that we were going to kind of discuss a little bit, and that is TikTok. Oh boy. Okay, so I have never jumped on the TikTok train because I was always a little wary of this.
I've done one video.
Kat, what about you?
Absolutely not. I knew where it came from, and I worked in technology enough to be concerned.
So you were with me on this one. So they're looking at so of course it is a fun little platform for everyone to jump on, do little crazy videos to music and whatnot. There was a problem right off the bat I had with TikTok, and that was the privacy regarding the app. It is no secret that this thing collects your usage information, your IP address, your carrier's mobile number, unique device identifiers, keystroke patterns, location data, all of these things, and people still kept using it, which I saw all that and went, nope. But it's worse now because they've actually found security flaws in it that are allowing hackers to access the accounts of other users, basically using your SMS from your phone. A lot of people have been criticizing it and basically saying this is spyware. Stop using it. CEO Steve Huffman of Reddit said, I look at that app as so fundamentally parasitic that it's always listening. The fingerprinting technology they use is truly terrifying, and I cannot bring myself to install an app like that on my phone. Damn, son. And TikTok just basically is like, whatever. You got to prove we're doing it. Well, we kind of have. So, of course, now there's been some talk of maybe banning this app in the United States for use. Ricardo, thoughts?
Well, if people know the dangers out there and they're willing to do that out there for whatever reason, then you know what, they can. I know a lot of my friends do it. A lot of my social media friends that have a lot of followings, not only now on Instagram but also like on Twitter and stuff, they're using this platform because apparently, like some of my friends are saying, yeah, it's better. We're getting more traction and more views and more everything on TikTok because there's no algorithm like Facebook or Instagram. So their cosplays, their art, all that stuff's getting out there more. Is it a good trade-off? That's up to you to decide. I know several of my friends are pretty mad about it, that they're trying to ban this. So, I mean, like I said, I've done one video, and then I was kind of like, we'll see. Now, if TikTok goes in there and like does a big-ass update and just, stops doing what they're supposedly doing, then maybe I'll hop back on more. But, like I said, a lot of my friends are saying, yeah, it's better than Instagram. It's better than Facebook.
You can't undo what they've done. The killer's already in the house.
There you go. And some of them are like, let them give information. I have nothing. Like everything's out there for me anyway. It's like, I'm poor. Go for it. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm like, okay, that's.
Okay, Kat, from the tech aspect of this, and I mean, you were already pretty much in the same boat I was.
I've been all up in this story though, because this started on Reddit. Like all of this started on Reddit, and I'm big into Reddit. A guy reverse engineered the app, right? So he broke it down to code to see what it was doing. And this is a Chinese-owned app. And it's, basically you give it blanket permissions when you log in the first time to access your microphone, which granted it needs
all the time
if you're going to have video, and to access like your location, which a lot of people use in social media. Like there's reasons for it to justify having all these. So the problem lies in that it is partnered with third parties that it then shares all that information with, and they don't have to re-up permissions for them to access all that data on a Chinese application. Now, I'm not jumping to say that I'm not getting on the China train. That's not me. But China enacted a law this week that says that they will have global enforcement of like criticisms against their government. Like if you talk to the Hong Kong thing in America and say Hong Kong, free Hong Kong, they can prosecute you when you step on Hong Kong soil or Chinese soil, is what they're claiming. That is the first law that I know of to be enacted like that, a global international reaching law that says it doesn't matter where you are, we can try and deport you or get you here, we can try and do whatever we want. And obviously, guys, do your own research. But the level of concern that I have with them having access to everything, when in the last 5 years I have flown through and landed on Chinese soil on my way to Korea, like that's concerning. That's alarming. So yes, I'm very much on the don't use TikTok platform.
As many toys as I get that are made in that region, they could probably trap me easily. So I was gonna be all like, I dare you to come for me.
Yeah,
But,
like it's just not as big a leap as I would like it to be because normally I'm with Ricardo. I don't have a lot of assets they can come for, but like when the combination of it having access to everything and them saying that they can control free speech anywhere in the world for some point in the future, if I was to happen to go through there, is too alarming for me to ignore.
That is so effing petty of them.
I mean, yeah, they don't like Winnie the
Yeah,
Pooh.
they don't like me.
So basically, guys, we're putting the information out there. Don't use TikTok. I just don't think it's a very good idea.
Yeah, at
And
least
if you
research
do,
the crap out of it to know what you're getting into.
and if you do, just don't go to China, because apparently they'll try to
Yeah.
prosecute you, put you in a Chinese prison, and you'll stay there forever.
And they'll get me if I talk to him. Is he coming? Yeah, just give him about 2 minutes and I'll bust through a door. I heard there were free Transformers here.
Yeah, you would do
There's
that.
not free Transformers.
China, if you're hearing me, like, I get a bunch of Funko Pops that are made in your region, so that's how you'll get me, China. Come on.
Well, we're waiting to see what the U.S. government's response is going to be, and I honestly think that they're going to ban this one. I think they're going to make it happen.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. But my advice, don't use the app. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into some stories. And I've got a huge one starting this week. We have a new Batwoman.
Oh yeah.
They, of course, we had the fallout with Ruby Rose. And not only are we getting a new Batwoman, we're getting a new main character for the show. I'm trying to find my image here. But, guys, seriously, they have. What am I trying to say? She's going to have an uphill battle on this one. I'm trying to get my notes together here. I've totally ruined this. So, give me a second. I closed out the page I was using. Closed out my notes. Okay, here we go. So, our new Batwoman is going to be actress. Load. Javicia Leslie. She is actually going to be playing a new character, whereas Kate Kane, we don't know if she's going to be killed, if she's going to give up the cowl, but the new civilian role is going to be named Ryan Wilder. Ryan actually comes from a street background and somehow is going to actually steal the bat suit, is what the saying is. So, I don't know where this is going to go. All I can say is, wow, to have to take on this role after the lead actress just kind of disappears with a new character, I don't know about.
Well,
this
I mean, when Ruby Rose left, they said they weren't going to
Got the image
replace
right
her. They weren't going to recast.
Kate
Yeah.
Kane.
They were going to bring in a new character for it. So people that are saying, "Oh, like this is kind of out of left field," or like, no, they said this at the beginning. So
Right.
I do agree she is going to have a bit of a uphill battle, but at the same time, it's kind of like, give her a shot. You never know. Like,
I wish they had cast her in the first place. Honestly, she could have taken on the role of Kate Kane because, I'm going to be frank here. A woman of color stepping into this role after there's already a season with this other character, and it's not the main character from the comic book. Damn, can you make her job any harder?
I mean, honestly, the character from the comic book didn't pull in a lot of, like a lot of us. I didn't care about Kate Kane that much. I'm more interested in both the woman of color and a new character for that universe that takes on the role. Like, that's more interesting to me than the stories I knew about. And like, she's gorgeous too. That doesn't hurt.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
Ruby
She's-
Rose, I guess. So like, but
And she also is a representative of the she's an open lesbian woman. But I'm just like, this is like, I don't feel that this is fair to her to have to step into this role with so much on her shoulders, and if it fails, they'll just say, "Oh, it was because of this actress."
Fair
Damn.
for the actor. I think that it is a good step forward regardless. I think we have to stop looking at some content as being like success or failures, and the amount of exposure she'll get to the rest of Hollywood and other TV shows, etc., in combination with just on-screen time. And like, I don't know how much she's done. I don't think it was a whole lot, but like just a very
She doesn't have a whole lot.
professional amount of experience. I think it could be successful even if it's not long running, and overall it will be good for the actor. And frankly, like, I'm just happy somebody's trying to immediately remedy some stuff and put some stuff out there, like content. We can't sit on our butts too long and talk about how we could be better. It's nice to see anybody just like going for it.
And kudos to her. Granted, I wish her all the luck in the world in this role. I want her to be successful. I want comic book shows to be successful. But man, I feel like that she's got such an uphill battle. And good luck. I can't wait to see what the character brings. We don't have a season yet. So I don't have a lot of criticism just yet, but
I mean, she had to know what she was getting herself into.
oh,
So
absolutely.
it's kind of like, okay, she's up for the challenge. She's got to have tough skin. And granted, I haven't seen her in much, but you know what? If she's up for this challenge, then you know what? I think she'll kill it. And those people that are, gonna criticize for the wrong reasons, then they can go screw themselves.
Also, it might be a little bit easier for her because you have so many like racist nerds who are like, wow, this character has never been like, why do you have to turn this character black? And that's a garbage argument that I'm tired of hearing anyway. But at least she won't have to hear that. Like, she'll hear other types of garbage racism because unfortunately that's the world we're in right now. But she might get more support than she would have, or at least more neutral people who aren't talking about how the liberal media is trying to turn these characters that I love and portray them as somebody who looks different from me, which is just a tired argument that's so over.
Really old. But yeah, good luck to her. I wish her nothing but the best. And yeah. Kat, you want to give us a story?
Okay, so this one is not a big deal. Okay, there's a new game called Valorant, right? And it's been a big buzz. People are leaving Overwatch for it, not in crazy high numbers, but in decently high numbers. And that's it's made by a company called Riot, and the only other game that Riot has in like esports on the big stage is League of Legends. Anyway, so this one's a shooter. Riot has a problematic culture. We're not going to get into all of that. They released information about their first pack of skins for Valorant, though. Apparently, one of my issues with Riot, personally, is that they're very like convoluted sometimes in understanding their games internally and externally. I don't have a lot of information, but their first ultra skin pack, which is one of their 5 tiers of skins that they have, which is crazy, is going to cost a clean $100. $100. This is just
for a skin?
For now, I'm trying to get more details about it. I have some due diligence to do with this game anyway.
Okay.
So like, I want to watch some more and understand, at least in theory, what it's about.
I too haven't gotten into it yet. I've seen some buzz on it, but I haven't. So.
Yeah.
What platforms can I play this on?
$100 for a pretend dragon you can shoot people with. So it may affect. Turns your guns into a cute but also slightly cranky looking dragon.
Who pays money for that?
People paying money for skins is not anything new. It's probably a PC only platform. Traditionally, they have been. And also traditionally, you can earn money like within games, like Overwatch. You can purchase skins with the
Yeah.
money that you get just for leveling gradually. Or so this is like if you just outright purchased it, but $100 is crazy.
Nah,
That's a game and a half.
I'm not paying for more than the game for a skin.
Well,
Nah.
Jason, the game is $150, so
No, I'm not doing that either. I'm already worried about when we're going to go to $70 games, so I'm like,
Oh my
no.
gosh, they have levels to their currencies. Like, oof. This sounds very convoluted. Anyway, that's a thing that's happening. Dragons are cute and amazing, and I understand that your developers had to program stuff into it, but like, seriously?
oof.
People will pay it. Like,
I guess I'm not that person.
I'm not either, and I wonder if they're confused. Like, if you've played League of Legends for like 6 years, you might be willing to invest more into it because you've had a stable relationship with that interaction. But like, I wonder if they're not going to see the returns that they want because Valorant is new. People don't know if they're going to get tired of it in a month.
The only time I've ever paid for skins was for Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, or in Arkham Knight.
I feel like that's fair.
But
I'm guilty of that one. All right, Rick, what have you got for us this week? Anything in TV? We'll try to stick with
TV.
that.
All right, I'll go with streaming then. So Disney Plus, there was a big drop this weekend that happened on July 3rd, which was the much anticipated Hamilton. Dropped July 3rd on Disney Plus.
2 in the morning our time.
Yes, I was up at 2, that's why I wasn't on last week's show. I was asleep, so I could get up at 2 a.m., watch the movie, and then go to work. So, over from Friday through Sunday, the Disney Plus app was downloaded worldwide 752,451 times, with 458,796 just in the U.S. alone. They almost got 1 million downloads worldwide for one show, just for Hamilton.
That's insane.
Worth.
So I did the math like a couple of days ago. It came out to like $3.8 million if you stuck to the $6.99 per subscription. That was up 74% higher than the average of the 4 weekends in June of 2020 over comparable time periods, Friday through Sunday, per Apptopia data. Worldwide, app downloads were 46.6 higher than the average four prior Friday through Sunday totals. So, though the global numbers do not include India or Japan, as Disney Plus service is delivered through pre-existing apps in those countries, so they most likely hit 1 million downloads in 3 days, just for Hamilton, which is currently playing in front of me right now on my TV. But yes, almost 1 million downloads just for Hamilton, July 3rd through July 5th. That is insane.
I don't know who out there needs to hear this, but you got 23 days left on that free subscription.
Yeah, I do feel like you have to
Go
point
ahead.
out that downloads are different from new subscriptions. There were people who were like at work who wanted
then
it
give me
on
your
their
access.
phone to watch it right away, or
That is true. That is true.
so
Yes.
like there is a difference, but it's undeniably and absolutely insane, both in the money and in the number of people who are interested in it. Cass and I also watched it from 2 until 4:40 that day. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So
I watched Gravity Falls. So.
Gravity Falls is also
Still.
amazing, but they're very different things.
that
I also binged season 1 of Star Trek Discovery, just to let you
Oh
know.
yeah? Did you like it?
I love I know. I love this show.
Yeah.
I'm in season 2, maybe 3 episodes now. Wow, I hate myself that I didn't watch this already.
We
So
hated you too at the time, but we're willing to come back around now that you've watched it.
I wasn't willing to get onto the
No,
CBS
I'm
All
with you.
Access thing.
CBS All Access is like my least favorite thing, and there's some good content, and the rest of it is not even vaguely interesting. So like Twilight Zone, and
so
and that's like it.
we lost you. Oh, there you are. So real quick,
Yeah.
a couple of other numbers for Disney Plus. As of early May of this year, Disney Plus had signed up 54.5 million subscribers worldwide in just 6 months since it launched in November of last year. In the US, it costs $6.99 per month or $69.99 per year, which actually comes out a little cheaper, which I probably should have done that, but oh well. But yeah, I've seen. If you haven't seen the show, if you're a big musical theater fan, I mean, you've probably already seen it. But I highly recommend watching it, even if you don't like musicals, Jason. And I've already seen it. Like this is like my 10th time watching it.
Don't you at me?
But yeah, almost 1 million downloads worldwide. So that's pretty awesome. And congratulations to Thomas Kell and Lin-Manuel Miranda and Alex Lacamoire and the entire cast. For this is a huge success in my opinion.
Yeah.
To be able to have that kind of power.
I'm excited. Like it's not a secret. It's a well-known fact that Broadway shows are typically professionally recorded at some point, and also that they're almost never released to anyone. So I'm excited, and I'm sure Jason joins me in this. Really, really excited about other musicals we might see based on this success.
I remember as a kid, I can't remember what VHS it was. It might have been the VHS for Jingle All the Way, but they had a preview where you could buy the stage production of Cats. And that was like the only one I ever knew of it, of a Broadway show being recorded. So
I mean, there's a few out there. I've seen a few, but a lot of the things we've seen are bootlegs. I never try to find a bootleg of Hamilton because I trusted Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I'm glad that I did. It was very beneficial. And I saw a lot of people who actually did get to see the musical saying that it was really nice to see this recording, even if they saw the original cast. If they were 8 rows back, they wouldn't have been able to see the range of emotion that the recording did. But it was just dope. I loved it.
I can appreciate everyone's happiness about it. Okay, I can at least. Everyone's excited. I won't deny that what I'm hearing about it is very good. But
Jason, I will buy you a $100 Transformer if you watch it.
What?
I would go on, like you're
That's a
going
trick.
with the bribing. I was just going to tell him that it's culturally incredibly important, and it's important for people of color also to watch, like to
One person's
understand.
trying to bribe me and one's trying to guilt trip me.
No, yeah, like I don't have money.
Oh, you fully admit this too. Well, at least you're big about it.
I believe I'm being honest, but my motivation was guilt. Yes, I think
But
it's true.
musical. It takes me out of it when people just stop all of a sudden.
No, it does not
and
stop.
start singing.
It
does
is a
not stop.
continuous. There's not.
Oh,
It is. They don't stop for 2.5 hours.
You remember how you just hated yourself for not watching Discovery when we told you to freaking watch Discovery? You already
not
have
trick me this
Disney
time.
Plus. Like,
don't you use that against me?
I'm
Jason,
just saying,
what kind of-
always listen to me.
What's your favorite whiskey? What's your favorite whiskey?
Knob Creek, probably.
I'll get us a bottle of Knob Creek, man.
Oh God, you're gonna make me watch Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh.
I can't believe you haven't.
All right, Jason.
I don't need to.
Jason, you got a
Oh,
story?
my eyes are bothering me. I do have a story. We'll move on. Okay, so throw it off. Okay, so of course, the creeping darkness is still a damn thing out there, and it has canceled just about everything out there. But you know what? We don't want to die, so that's all good. However, San Diego Comic-Con, well, a lot of organizations have been doing things digitally. where fans can still have panels and interact through chat rooms. And San Diego Comic-Con will be doing San Diego Comic-Con at home this year. Online panels. One of the events has already been, well, we actually got our first bit of information about the first event. The first panel will be in 2 weeks, Thursday, July 23rd, 3 to 4 p.m. The Science of Back to the Future. It will be broadcast on San Diego Comic-Con's YouTube channel, which we'll provide a link for in the description below. But they're going to be going over basically all of those cool things in Back to the Future 2, like flux capacitors and hoverboards, flying cars, time travel. Yes, and of course, I hope they mention that Transformer, which is cool. Anyway, you will be able to ask questions live. The panelists will be John Barber, who's the editor-in-chief of IDW, Kevin Scott, writer for the Back to the Future comics, writer for Back to the Future, and a bunch of other things wow, this list. Juan Samu, he's an artist for Transformers. He will be working on the Back to the Future comic they're doing. Sarah Naderi, who is the outreach director of and I'm going to butcher this, the Halasiglu Data Science Institute at the University of San Diego, and who's an engineer and robot builder. Dr. Lisa Will, she's a Fleet Scientist Center resident astronomer and professor of physics and astronomy at San Diego City College. Wow. And Andrea Decker, who's a Fleet Science Center, and she will be moderating this panel. So we got our first thing on the schedule for Thursday. Sweet. I'm excited that, we're still going to give it the good old college try on getting some panels out there for people to enjoy. So
I know
it's a small bit of news, but hey, this was going to be the 50th anniversary of San Diego Comic-Con. This sucks.
Yeah, I also know but
they're trying to make the best of it.
They've also announced a Bill and Ted panel as well a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what day yet, but I know they announced a Bill and Ted 3 panel.
There's a couple that are announced, but this is the first one that's like on
the actual schedule. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And of course, you can get more information at San Diego Comic-Con's website or on their YouTube channel. They will also have the schedule of events there. So yeah, at least you don't have to stand in a line and try to get into this panel.
You
can just
I am so happy.
Boot up your computer.
I'm just gonna say real quick. I was so happy that I found the press store to Hall H and just walked right in because that was so epic.
Well, disappointing news on that front, actually, because Marvel and DC will not be in attendance of San Diego Comic-Con at all. They have said that they will have some events later on, but honestly, everything's kind of shut down for them as well, so I can kind of get what they're saying. Yeah. I mean, we still have not seen Black Widow, which it has been a year since we have seen a Marvel movie.
First time in 12 years.
And I'm starting to get the itch. I'm going to admit it. Okay? I should have already seen Black Widow. I should have had a teaser for Shang-Chi or Eternals or something. But, hey, we don't want to
Where is Moon Knight?
Moon.
Where's anything? Anyway, this is a positive story. San Diego Comic-Con will go on, not in the format they're used to, but at least in some format.
Now, Jason, there's something big about San Diego Comic-Con that both you and I are always real happy about. The exclusives.
Okay. Well, you want to go on and get into that then?
Since we're on San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, so of course, companies like Hasbro, NECA, they always give their big announcements at these events, what they're going to be coming out with for the year. A lot of them have been doing digital events. Hasbro's had a lot of success and a couple of misses with some of their Fan First Fridays, showing things like Lightning Collection, G.I. Joe, Hasbro Marvel Legends. Well, this Friday, they are doing another Fan First Friday. This will feature Marvel Legends, and this one is going to have what your San Diego Comic-Con exclusives are going to be. How these are going to be offered, basically you're going to need that Hasbro Pulse membership, which I have one, thank you, which is going to get you early access for some of these. Tomorrow, they said it is going to be big. The only thing that they said positive is like, some of this will be spaced out to relieve your wallet. Already, we saw one tease during one of their Fridays. They showed what was a robot leg. It was undoubtedly, it was a Sentinel leg. That Sentinel leg was at least 14 inches tall. compared to 6-inch scale action figures. How this is going to be released, it's probably going to be released through their HasLab. We don't know yet, but tomorrow is going to be their big event for the Marvel Legends. So tune in. I know I am. I know Nate is. I'm excited. I want my San Diego Comic-Con
Now,
exclusives.
how much money are you gonna drop?
Oh, in 2 weeks? A lot.
So
the
one thing I like to collect now more so than anything is the Funko Pops. And me and my friend Jillian, we've been keeping an eye on those. They release the entire list of everything that's coming out. They also release which ones will be available, not only just for San Diego Comic Con, but also the ones that are San Diego Comic Con exclusives, but also available like at GameStop and Target and Hot Topic and all that. So there are several out there that I definitely have my eye on, which I'm very excited for because, those go up in value. And so that's going to be my target. It's going to be the Funko Pops.
The one rumor that they've said at the box sets for this year, the strong rumors are one will be a Hellfire Club box set, which I could see totally them doing that, or an X-Men movie 1-pack.
Ooh.
Now, here's the deal. If you've been to Comic-Con, you know that you got to get in line for these exclusives. Yeah. Get in line. You sometimes have to get in the line to get a space in the line to get your exclusives. Everything is going to be done through the web. So I'm questioning, is this going to actually get people more access to the exclusives? Because normally you got to wait until after the convention. And then if there's some left, you can maybe they'll have like a sales event on one of these sites or something. Or you pay those crazy eBay prices. I'm wondering how much better this is going to be than lines, and how many people will be able to have access to these things.
I actually already managed to get a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive earlier this month, or late last month. It was a Dennis Nedry Jurassic Park figure that comes in the
right. That was coming from Mattel.
From Mattel. I was in the website right at 11 o'clock. It crashed in 30 seconds. It took me 45 minutes before my order went through. And then about 10 minutes after that, they were sold out. But I was trying not only on my laptop, but also on my phone. And I think my laptop finally managed to get through, and I was able to purchase this. But I kept getting the 505 page not found error, like this didn't go through, whatever. And it took me, it was a battle. I thought I was going to miss out on this, but I'm thinking if this was just for a 6-inch Dennis Nedry Barbasol, like Hasbro and all these other ones better have badass computers, servers to handle the traffic.
They definitely need to start testing loads and looking at what that traffic will be.
They're not just going to open it up. They had to figure out how to do tickets after their system got overrun by people trying to get tickets. And so now they have this like lottery system that they go with so that people can get tickets and they don't bring down their servers. I assume that something similar will happen to their exclusives, because it makes sense. It could use some of the systems they have in place, et cetera, et cetera.
It's going to be an interesting time this year. We'll see how this all works out. But
best of luck to you, Jason.
I know. Cross my fingers, man.
So, random question: how long before companies like Hasbro start just releasing 3D files?
Ooh.
I don't think
it's coming.
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon.
I don't think it will happen for exclusives, but I wonder about other stuff.
I don't think so,
releasing, like paying for them, but cheaper.
I don't think so, because they will want to control the quality of it. And if someone's out there doing shitty quality prints of these and then selling them, saying that, hey, these are from so and so, then I wouldn't think they would do that, just because they can't. At that point, they can't control the quality of the figures.
The one reason I don't see is because a lot of retailers these days, especially with Hasbro and other toy companies, they're wanting like an exclusive item for their stores to drive traffic to them. So I don't think retailers would like being shut out like that. Like even with Hasbro and Hasbro Pulse, though they sell things through the website, it's usually after it's already been on the store shelves. Because if they didn't, honestly, I wouldn't go hunting. If I could get that stuff early through Hasbro Pulse, I wouldn't be driving around to Walmart and Targets, especially during a pandemic.
I think we'll see it as soon as they figure out how to make it a one print per purchase, which isn't even on them. It would come out in the filing security. You would need something like digital copyright in place for that to happen. But I think we'll see it, like, not for people to print and sell, or people to print their own.
Well, they wouldn't be the first company. There is a company out there, Astrobots, that came out with these really great figures, but they released the files for them before they actually started releasing the figures themselves.
I mean, also like, what is it? Hero Forge? Is it not?
Oh yeah, Hero Forge. Yeah, they do
It's
that.
personalized, but you could start seeing that, like, if they release those files, they could release it with like where you could reskin a character on your own, like Diva, but in the Fuel skin. And they could release a file and you could just print her that way. And it doesn't require them to have any materials or any warehouse space. So I think within 3 years, you'll see some instances of that.
3 years, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold her to that. All right. You got another story for us, by the way?
Uh,
Go ahead and just lead into another one.
yes. I have a few, and they're all kind of bizarre.
Do you need a second?
No, Jack Dorsey,
Okay.
the CEO, I think, of Twitter,
Yep.
is rumored, I think reported at this point, to be testing a universal basic income experiment that he's funding himself that could affect up to 7 million people. I don't know very many of the details. This just happened today. But he says, let me go back to that bookmark. Yeah, according to businessinsider.com, he's working with 14 American mayors to fund universal basic income trials. They don't know which cities. It's part of an initiative with former presidential candidate Andrew Yang.
I like him.
And proponents say, oh, that's just universal basic income could help close some of the wealth gap. Others say it could compound the financial crisis. It's mostly the 1% saying that. And I've always had like family that was very against the idea of a universal basic income, but it's actually tested extraordinarily well in other places. That doesn't mean it would work in America, where people are apparently very selfish, as we've learned.
Oh, really?
But it has done well for even like work productivity studies elsewhere. So I'm interested. If it comes down to it's Dallas and you have to sign up for it, then sure, bring it on. But interesting to see a billionaire trying to fund something like this.
I give Jack all kinds of crap, but I'll give him some here.
Yeah.
Rick?
So we know actors tend to go into extreme lengths at times to get into character. The guy who did Abraham Lincoln, off the top of my head, I can't remember his name, but he's a really well-known actor. Crap. What is his name?
It's not Daniel Day-Lewis, is it?
Daniel Day-Lewis, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Jared Leto, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Well, we can add another actor to that list. Shia LaBeouf is in a new movie by David Ayer called The Tax Collector, where he plays a tax collector for a gang, for a let me see here, hold up. For a crime lord that cuts his profits from gangs. And the name of his character is called Creeper. Well, the character of Creeper has a giant chest tattoo. So what did Shia LaBeouf do? as you can see in the picture here, he actually got it tattooed on him. He went
That's
and tattooed. Not this is not it's not like just makeup. He actually got this tattooed on himself for this one role. What?
that's some dedication.
I respect the dedication. And you know what? Maybe he really liked it to the point where, like, you know what? I really want this, and I really want the word creeper tattooed across my stomach. But at the same time, like, you're an actor, man. Like, now for other roles, if you have to be shirtless, they have to cover it up or digitally remove all this. Like, good lord. Um, I don't know. Like, thoughts?
Wow. First off, I guess it drums up a lot of press for the movie before it comes out. And Shia LaBeouf can pay to have this thing lasered off. If
That's
he changes his
my
mind,
thought
I
process. The number of people that are like, this is permanently emblazoned. I'm like, is it? Like, tattoos have lost a little bit of ground for me as far as like respect for different ones or how much I think they impact the person now that people with the means can have them lasered or covered or
Worse, if my 12-year-old came home with this tattoo, I'd be like, well, that's pretty much stuck
I'm
there.
telling you,
How much to get that off?
I would
No.
do it if I had a different piece planned for my chest and stomach, and I could get it lasered and then covered in a short amount of time. I will say that Shia LaBeouf worked with David Ayer on Fury, and David Ayer's done some garbage movies, but Fury was breathtaking. It is a genius war movie. It is my favorite war movie of all time. Like, it's rough. It's hard to watch, but like, he's worked with the director before, so he gets a little bit of leeway from me. Although he also pulled a tooth on that set intentionally for
Yep.
his character, so he's just
Now,
going crazy.
a trailer for The Tax Collector dropped last week. I haven't seen it yet. I didn't know it actually dropped. I'm looking at the thing now. But some people criticize the film of glorifying gang culture and accused LaBeouf of brown facing. And someone on Twitter asked, Shia LaBeouf, only white boy in cast of brown black people because they couldn't find one more qualified brown or black actor in Hollywood? Ayer did address the controversy over the weekend on Twitter when one person asked him, hey, really important question that I think you should answer publicly in 2020. Is Shia LaBeouf playing a Latino character in Tax Collector? If so, why didn't you cast a Latin actor? And he replied, really important answer. Shia is playing a white boy who grew up in the hood. This is a Jewish dude playing a white character. Also the only white dude in the movie. So there you go.
Wow. Way to attack that one head on.
Yeah. Sometimes you need the draw. Like, I respect somebody
Yeah.
who fills a movie with diverse faces, like they did with that freaking Matt Damon movie that was actually made by the Chinese production company. So it's like Matt Damon, all of China, something. And they brought him in for the recognition and then filled the rest
Oh,
of
the
the
wall.
cast with up and comers.
He did continue with it. So he said, I grew up hood and I'm a white boy. Chicano culture is inclusive. I've seen whiteys, Asians, blacks, Filipinos all putting in work for the hood. It's part of street culture. And quite honestly, I will have to agree with that. Big part of my family here in Dallas is part of the Chicano culture. And I've seen all walks of life, of all colors, go through that. I've seen, exactly that. Whiteys, Asians, blacks, Filipinos, all those.
It's a big thing in Tokyo, actually. Like, sections of Tokyo are very dedicated to it.
So, but yeah, giant tattoo. He's got it on him for a role. Maybe he'll laser it off. Maybe he won't. But I think that's going a little too far.
I think it's weird. Like, I don't want to say I don't think it's weird. I'm saying, like, there's ways that I could see it making sense to someone, especially like makeup for tattoos takes forever to like put tattoos on somebody every day, even with
Yeah.
stencils and stuff. I think it's weird. I do think it is a being extremely method is actually tends to be white male privilege that allows you to be all weird and get hired again other places. Is not something that typically women, minorities, anybody underserved community oriented. It's not usually a privilege that we have, which is why I don't believe in method acting very much. But there you go.
Well, better get to a couple more stories. And I got one up for discussion now.
Okay.
Capcom.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Great company. They've been around for a while. Oh, that was an old picture. That was the wrong picture. That's the wrong picture. I just have screwed. I don't need to be in charge of this anymore. Okay, Capcom running the show and talking. It's rough. So Capcom recently admitted that what percentage of games do you think Capcom sells digitally?
You told me earlier, so I won't answer.
I saw the story. Like in my
80% of their games are now sold digitally. And with the trend, they're saying that it is going to be at 90% very soon. Capcom revealed that its current digital download sales ratio is approximately 80%, and they're going all in on this. While it ultimately depends on how our customers behave going forward, for the time being, we are promoting our digital strategy with an objective of 90%, since there are some customers who prefer to own discs. Now, of course, a lot of Capcom games are classic games that we can't currently get off the shelf. So I can kind of understand where some of this comes from. Who has not downloaded Mega Man 10 times? It's me. I've downloaded plenty of Mega Mans and other games that Capcom has made in the past to play on systems that I have now. So I totally see why their digital market is so large. They have such an abundant library to pick games from. But we have talked over and over about games going digital instead of hard copies. That PlayStation 5 we looked at has an all-digital format. No hard disk. But here's the first company that's really just going all in. Hey, 80% sales, fine. We'll get our money where we can make it. And with people not going into stores like GameStop these days, who also, I'd like to point out, GameStop lost like $108 million this last quarter.
and they were on a downward slide anyway.
Yeah, we might as well just start playing taps for GameStop right now.
Well, I mean,
But back to that. We've all bought digital games, right?
one.
Really? You still haven't, huh?
I like physical media.
And I totally understand it. I'm with
The
you
only
on
one
that.
that I bought download was because I had to was Star Wars Pod Racer, because they didn't release a physical game for the Switch.
See, they left you no
They
choice
let me
on
know.
that
I
one.
was looking. I went to GameStop and said, "Hey, this game's coming out tomorrow. Do y'all have it?" They're like, "We have not heard of this." So I had to go, and I'm like, "Oh, this is only a digital download," and I was a little disappointed. But I mean, I have it now. But I mean, if something happens to my account, I'm out $15.
And the last one I bought was Streets of Rage, the new Streets of Rage game for my PlayStation. But I bought plenty. Kat, how many digital games have you purchased just within the year?
I don't purchase a lot of games, period, but I do actually lean more towards digital. If you can download it and keep it offline and still play it, then that's better for me. But I think it comes down to a few things because I've been thinking about this. One of them is if you were part of as big a family as I was and am, so close to each other in ages, like things happen to your physical media. Like it gets destroyed. You blow in the Nintendo one too many times. You try and suck out the dust on the cartridge. It goes bad, right?
As a reminder, that did absolutely nothing for those games.
Oh, I know.
They've proven we were doing nothing for that.
But over the years, like I've learned what things it takes for me to be comfortable. First of all, Overwatch only exists online anyway, and it's my favorite game of all time, so you don't have a choice. But also, like, my PS4 just isn't that fast sometimes, and like spinning up from the disc constantly is a pain. Like, I like the hand-me-down discs I've gotten from Cameron when he finishes games, but I've worked with software going to cloud models and stuff, and it's worked out fairly well for me. And so games, I'm just not that against it. I like the security that if it's PS5 compatible, I would just re-download it.
Whereas I'll go either way. It just really depends on what the game is. If I really want to play that game right then and there, I mean, I have my PlayStation wired, so I can download it pretty fast. But whereas somebody like Ricardo, he loves physical media, but even him loving physical media, they still got him to buy a downloadable game.
I will say I'm very diligent about like the receipt, and because at first you used to have serial numbers and they would like email you the serial number and then you could go download stuff for software. So I'm pretty diligent about having a record of purchase for something. Even recently, something in the App Store changed ownership on my phone, my iPhone, and I was able to send the new owner like proof that I'd purchased the old game to get the download for their new one. So stuff like that.
So back in the Capcom with 80% of it being downloaded, I think part of that is of what's going on. If people didn't want to go out and buy physical media, and they're like, hey, we're supposed to stay at home, we're under stay-at-home orders, then it's like, I'll just download all these games, and because I have nothing else to do, I'm furloughed, I'll just stay here and just download everything and play everything. So, and especially with a lot of kids not being able to go to school and all that, so what's easy games? Mega Man, and I mean, I don't know what else Capcom. I mean, I don't know Capcom's.
They did Street Fighter back in the day. I don't know if you can still get it on a bunch of platforms. They also do the Resident Evil games.
So, and see, like all these games are on the Switch, right? So,
I mean, yeah, and I've downloaded a lot of games to my Switch.
And I mean,
even their SNES and NES platform games. Technically, all those are digital.
Yeah, and it's like, now with parents, they say, hey, I don't want to go out and get a game for my kid. Let me see your Switch. I'll just download all these games for you. Here you go. Especially with now, Switches were very scarce because everyone bought them out. In whatever systems.
We've proven we love playing games while we're under quarantine.
So it's like, of course, their sales are going to be 80% all mostly digital because people, I don't think, had a choice. And if say they made 20 Mega Man games and people bought them at GameStop, and with everything going on, they're not making anymore, they're not shipping anymore over, you don't have a choice. You have to download stuff. So I think part of this is it's slightly skewed data, because had none of this happened, I don't know if it would have been as high as 80, maybe closer to 50-60%, but that's just my thought on it. It's
I think that is a factor that we do need to consider in these numbers. All right, guys, we got time for maybe 2 more. Why don't y'all close it out? Rick, give me what you got.
I'm gonna go with this one because it's a little bit more better well known.
Go for it.
So a couple of days ago, I think actually yesterday, Blumhouse and Universal Studios moved the sequel to Halloween called Halloween Kills to 1 year. They released a statement yesterday that they're not going to release it October 15th, 2021, instead of October 16th of this year. But they did move the new Candyman movie to the old Halloween Kills release date, which is October 16th. So John Carpenter and oh, what's his name? I'm sorry, I just had his name. Oh, there it is. Uh, Director David Gordon Green. They released a joint statement yesterday saying that they're moving the movie, and also that they are planning to release it in IMAX next year, which I'm kind of stoked for that to see Halloween on an IMAX screen. That's gonna be pretty awesome. Um, Along with Halloween and Kills moving a year, also Halloween Ends, which is going to be the sequel to that movie, also moving now to 2022. They also pushed, which I didn't even know this was in development or being filmed. There's another Purge movie coming out called The Forever Purge, and that was supposed to come out July 2020, which we are currently in, but that is now pushed to July 9th of 2021 as well. Um, so yeah, we've got a couple of more moves arounds. I mean, honestly, at this point, I think they should just cancel the entire 2020 movie season and just push everything to 2021 because. I mean, they pushed Tenet again. They pushed Milan again. They've pushed Wonder Woman to October. But the way things are going, I don't see any of these movies seem to light up day this year. But yeah,
Much like many other things.
the what?
So much like many other things right
Yeah.
now.
So, but yeah, that is everything that's being moved around. So now we've got Forever Purge next year, Halloween Kills next year, which they did release a very quick 30-second teaser, and it got me excited just because it starts right at the very end of Halloween. It picks right up where it ended. So, so yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit more movie news. We got to wait another year now for Halloween
Just more.
sequel. So
That's really interesting to me because I just read a story today about how horror movies specifically have been hugely impacted. Like, there are seasons, horror goes by weird seasons as far as when they're released. And also, R rated movies have to be released in the right timings for them to do really well, like It and Joker, and that do really well if they're released when it's the right time. So I just think it's just flat out smart to push them by a year. Like, we're not going to compete in an oversaturated space when people have weird feelings maybe about how to approach horror as a genre right now, because anything dystopian is going to be very strange and off-putting.
that's why we're not getting another season of Black Mirror because it's like what's going on right now is worse than anything I could have put out there. So
Well, think of The Purge, like The Purge in this environment. Like, that I love those movies.
man,
But
honestly, I'm just sound the damn sirens. Just let's just
it feels uncomfortably close to The Purge as it is. It's just taking longer.
I just sound the sirens. Let's just go out there.
Kat, you want to go ahead and finish it off with a story?
Yeah, let me see if I
got the
can't
last
get you
one.
better news than that.
Something happened.
Halloween and The Purge are both going to be worth seeing, I think. I like The Purge a lot. Yeah. Okay, so I got just a lighthearted one. Giuliani called the NYPD on Sacha Baron Cohen in the past, I think, 48 hours.
Oh, do go on.
So
Do go on.
Giuliani was being interviewed by a woman, I don't know, for something unrelated, and Sacha Baron Cohen burst in with motivations we're not entirely sure in, and like a pink string bikini that was pretty revealing, and tried to, I guess, disrupt or something. And Giuliani called NYPD on him. He said he recognized him from Borat. And he felt good that he wasn't gotten by him. But he called the cops. The cops did not, it doesn't say why, but they didn't apprehend Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, I don't know if they didn't try or if they just don't take Giuliani's calls anymore, or like what, or if they were too busy trying to put Black Lives Matter in front of the Trump Tower, which happened this week. President's very upset about it. I was thrilled. But yeah, that happened. It's the second thing that I've heard of Sacha Baron Cohen doing lately that falls under major disruption. After a couple of weeks ago, he infiltrated a
A three
alt-right
percenter
conference
convention.
with a racist country act.
Yeah,
And
I
they
saw
tried
that.
to get him off stage. It took them 8 minutes to get past his security to get him off stage. And then he was able to
he was performing a
re-infiltrate
song.
in a different disguise to interview the event's organizers about how their alt-right conference was going. So
He was singing a song saying, when we get Obama, what we're going to do, inject him with the Wuhan flu. It was, and then to come back to the scene of the crime.
he got people
Kudos
singing
on this man.
him, which is upsetting, but not
That's
surprising.
disturbing.
Yes.
That's the disturbing part of that.
Yeah, and
I actually found a quote. I found a quote from Giuliani on this incident.
Did you?
He said it was a pink bikini with lace underneath a translucent mesh top. It looked absurd. He had a beard, bare legs, and wasn't what I would call distractingly attractive. Okay, Giuliani once dressed in drag and did a thing with Donald Trump, so he's one to talk about distractingly attractive, okay?
I mean,
You know,
Sacha Baron Cohen's not related to him, so he might not be attracted to him.
Oh, bring the gloves up. Bring the gloves up, Kat. Come on now.
I do how I
You can't be hitting that low. You can't be hitting that low. I wonder what he's filming for, because I can't wait, honestly. It might be a Showtime show again, or are we going to get a full-on movie again like some of his other stuff? But yeah, these pranks are good, and keep them coming,
I
Sacha.
think he's out to do some good for the world. That's what he's trying to do, and he largely has moved towards that and is accomplishing something. But mostly just to make fun of alt-right people and make them look as dumb as they are about stuff is already the right track. I'm talking far right. I disagree with right about everything, but the far right is who should look stupid.
I kind of want to go back and rewatch Borat to see.
It's watchable again.
Yeah, well, see, kind of like how much of the far right was in that before we kind of really realized it was the far right, I guess. But you know what? Good for you, Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, thank you.
All right. Well, guys, that is our show. Thank you guys for being with us for another week of this. And yes, it's not our normal conditions, but thank you for showing up anyway. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SCNS Live or on Facebook.com/SCNS Live. And if you want to follow us personally, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JasonTheX.
You can find me on Instagram under under NerdyRick89. I am doing the 366-day challenge. Today was day 191 of the year. Yes, we have survived for 191 days. Also, I put up a video on my Instagram yesterday of me making something called a avocolada. It is a tequila drink with avocado and coconut yogurt. Go check it out. It is made with Terramana, which is an awesome tequila by The Rock. And shout out to my friend Roz. Hopefully we'll see you in October in North Carolina.
You can find me on Instagram at BetterCat. You can find me on Twitter on a few different handles, but at BetterCat sometimes, or at Doa Drawings, where I draw esports shoutcaster cartoons. It's hard to explain. If it's not your thing, don't follow it. You will never be entertained if you're not entertained right away by the stupidity that goes on.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Make sure you tune in next week. Also, in the morning, we have a very interesting interview that will be being made live on the channel. We talked to Bobby Valla of the company Action Force. He just successfully launched a Kickstarter for a 6-inch action figure line. This man is passionate about his line. Please check out that interview tomorrow morning. And we got another one coming from Rick.
Actually, it's one. Do you know more about Terry? Terry?
Oh, actually, I got news. One of our close associates, Show Enough Studios, one of the creators, Terry Parr, has been very ill for the past few days. But I just got news in a text message. That's who I was texting. Yes, I wasn't being unprofessional. He has taken a turn for the better. He is feeling good. We are happy to hear this. I was ready to come on here and tell y'all to go buy some artwork from them because, they need all the help they can get. But you should still go buy artwork from Shonuff Studios right now.
Gary,
But
awesome.
they
great.
are friends and family of this show. We care about them greatly. Please go buy some artwork from him. But he is much better now. I'm glad I get to end on some good news and not bad news. So, yeah, that's it. All right, guys. As we always say around here,
Keep on
keep on nerding.
Don't throw away your shot.